Right, we're in the new 2012 Toyota Camry. Here comes Kishan, if we can get in. And we've got to start it up. And the first thing that we're doing is we're doing a braking and avoidance maneuver. So, flat out, hit the brakes, turn, and avoid killing some cones.
I don't know what the cone's done to you.
Well, I said I'm avoiding killing the cones. I could kill them if you want to.
I think you will, though. I'm going to bet you that you will. I'm going to bet you a considerable sum of money.
Alright. Well, the thing I like is they say if you can snap the brake pedal off, you can keep the car, so...
There we go.
Okay, so around 50 kilometers an hour.
50.
I don't know if you'll listen, but I have to tell
No,
you.
50, alright, yeah, 50.
Do it as
Well,
fast as
maybe
you
a little, alright, fast as we can. Now you're talking our language, here we go.
178 bhp. Have I had my breakfast? What is it? Let me know.
God's help us.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go, 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 go! Where's the first gun, first gun? Okay, ooh, hey, here we go. And it's the hard left.
Stop making faces. It's not so bad. It's just not so bad.
Oh, we got a drift on! We have got a drift on! Oh, he swings it in! Oh, nice application of power, here we go. That gate's a killer. Here we go, turning in, turning in. Oh, and stop! Oh. I think that was pretty good, actually.
And you
I think that was alright. That was alright,
If
actually.
you didn't kill a cone, I think that was actually equal.
I don't think you've killed a cone, no. I don't think you have. No, no, it's fine. No, I think you did alright there, actually.
Well, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
So we've now just departed the autodrome after hurling this thing around cones and stuff like that. And we're now on the road section in the new 2012 Toyota Camry.
Yeah. This is the SE model, I believe.
I don't know, it's got some nice kit on it though.
It's got some, the interior is definitely different.
I've got my stereo already synced up and playing and everything.
I have to admit, it's got a very, very nice sound system on it that looks like the same as you get in a Lexus. So that's a nice upgrade for Camry owners.
It does look like
it. Got some leather stitching on the dashboard. I don't know about this double deck trim. I don't know if that's will age well. I also like my stomach to stay together. Thanks, old man. But so we are off on the route, which is 160 kilometers in total, which ends in Bab al Sham. We're starting off in the autodrome.
I suppose surrounded by Camrys at the moment, new Camrys. I have to say it looks like a smaller car to me.
Why is that? Do you think it's because of the front and back end being a little bit shorter? The car is exactly the same dimensions except for the width. The width is
actually slightly
5
wider.
millimeters wider.
No, it is actually wider. I think it's the styling. You know, because if you look at it, it's done a bit Lexusy with very sharp angular lines on that back end.
Yeah.
You know, and we are literally like we've got 2 behind us, 1 on each side, and there's about 4 Camrys ahead of us.
What do you think of those tail lights with the sort of inverted Hawkeye approach? What do you reckon? Brave?
Well, they're distinctive, isn't it? It actually, I think it's slightly more upmarket. Makes the car look more upmarket, that chrome strip across the top.
I reckon the entire midsection is exactly the same as the old car design.
The middle bit does look very, very familiar, doesn't it? It looks very comfortably familiar.
Is that enough? Is that enough differentiated from the old car?
You know, just looking at that Camry behind us, the white one, and because there's a warping effect to the back window, it looks like because the headlights have been compressed just because of the way that I can see it through this window here, and it looks like a sports car. It's very odd.
But that's kind of the takeaway, isn't it? It handles much better than the old car. So is the Camry now a sports sedan?
No, I don't think it's a sports sedan. I just think it's a much more competent sedan.
Yeah.
I think it's a case of, here's a car that you can hustle if you have to. But, I think it's still about, getting from A to B in the most comfortable and hassle-free way as
But are
possible.
we comfortable? The suspension's a bit firmer. It is a bit
Yeah,
stiffer.
and I'm still struggling with the lumbar on this seat. I keep fiddling with it. Maybe my seating
What about this new
position's
engine, the 2.5 with the 180-ish brake horsepower?
It's good, it's torquey, isn't it? I mean, there you go, 120. Knocks down a couple of ratios and up it goes. Not too bad.
Not too, but does it feel different from the old car?
An overall feel, I don't think it does.
No.
I don't think it does, an overall feel. But I just think that there's a little bit more torque there.
I think it's definitely tuned towards economy and the car, the mood of the moment, really.
Yeah.
It's all, and it's much nicer in here than the old car.
Oh yeah,
It
definitely.
feels properly put together. I mean, there are hard surfaces you can hear, but they're not really too much bother. I mean, it feels all very sturdy and reliable.
Yes, it is indeed,
How are
yeah.
you doing for headroom?
I'm fine. I'm doing really well. It's got sunroof in
Even
here
with
as
the
well.
sunroof on
It's got
here?
sunroof in here and, plenty of headroom. No problem at all.
All pretty much as you'd expect from a Camry, really, but just feels a bit better put together. What do they left head now?
Oh my god. Empty's taken over. We're on a long, empty stretch of desert
Now
road.
we're entering the mature part of the drive where we don't
Huh?
drive like children, we drive sensibly.
Alright,
What
Mr.
happened?
Sensible. What do you think of it so far?
I think it's hard to tell the difference from the old car, except for the steering. This is the part that everybody's going to talk about. It steers much, much better. It feels meaty. It feels like an actual rack.
It feels matey as well.
It's not mating with me anytime soon. It's an electric rack. That's the part I can't get over. This is electric.
Yeah.
There's no actual hydraulic assist. It's all electric, and the feeling's very good. Whoever's programmed did a really good job of it.
Traditionally, electric steering wheels, just to let people know, traditionally the electric steering is the one where you lose the feel, although you gain precision and better assistance,
Yeah.
but you tend to lose the feel. And this is somehow doing a good job of replicating that.
Yeah. I have to say, feels very satisfying to drive. It feels like you could hustle this car up. Again, it's no sports car, but it'll be quick. In the right hand, it can be seriously quick. The rest of the package feels pretty much the same as the old car. I have to confess, I have a Camry, like the V6 Orion, and it doesn't feel dramatically different. The suspension is a bit stiffer. The brakes are a bit better. It's all a case of minor improvements sort of adding up to a slightly overall better package, I would say. But it's not a dramatic improvement. I don't think you should go expecting one.
Well, no, you wouldn't be anyway. Don't forget the price increase is about 2%.
Yeah.
The servicing and maintenance costs are exactly the same.
Yeah.
So
So when they use the words all new Camry,
Yeah, well, I think it is, but it's just stepping into a better version of a car that wasn't that bad to start with in terms of the requirements in that segment. Let's be
Yeah.
honest, it is the class leader.
it is, and that's the important part to take away from all of this. Is they're not talking about competing with all these new rivals, the Sonata and the Accord and the Altima. What they're actually saying is we are maintaining our position as market leader. We're doing enough to stay ahead of the pack, and I think they have just enough. But I'm not quite sure how would they've improved it. Do you think? How could they make it better?
Well, that's a tricky thing, isn't it? Because you start to go into different character traits of the
Yeah.
car. At the end of the day, this is not meant to be a sports sedan. This is not a sports sedan.
Yeah.
This is meant to be a solid car that you put your money in. It'll get you around everywhere you need to go safely. And then at the end of the day, you can still sell it and get decent residuals off it. If I can say residuals, then you know what I mean. But basically, I think it fulfills that brief perfectly still.
Yeah.
Try to waver outside of that brief, you will end up with a different car, and maybe that is not.
And then
what
you might
the other
lose
one-
that precious market share, is what you might lose. I think they've done enough. I think the important things to me, as somebody who would drive a Camry, would be have a much nicer interior, and that way they've succeeded. It feels like a much better place to be. The old one was sort of indifferent in styling, and this feels much, much better.